Nice little home on the range. It's very windy. These are the buffalo. They make lovely buffalo burgers. Sorry about the wobbliness of this video. I'm holding on with one hand. No, it's not. Yeah, sorry, thank you. We're in Napton Lock 13 and we took the opportunity to nip to the toilet. Of course another boat came along. That's okay. Just thought, oh, we're at the lock. Quickly nip to the loo. Grab a new SD card for the camera. Hopefully it's still recording. I can't remember if I switched the mic off on top. It keeps reverting back to the back screen rather than doing the front screen. I can never get it to swap. It's meant to be a 2-tap action, but I can never do the 2 taps. But then I always find that my fingers don't work properly on iPads or anything like that. I can use a Samsung tablet, but iPad tablets I just don't get any reaction on. I just sit there tap 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 tapping, have to use a pen. Okay, almost down. And it is coming up to 2 p.m. which is the time it was meant to chuck it down with rain. So the fact that we've got back here before it's rained is pretty good going. Actually, the forecast has been changing throughout the day. I don't think it is actually going to rain anymore. Here we go. He's sat chatting again. We keep catching up with the boat in front of us, which is good. Gives us a chance to have a little breather. They're just leaving the lock. I don't know if there's anyone coming up. Paul not being here doesn't help. If they leave the locks open, I take it there's people coming up. If they don't leave it open, there isn't. They've been quite good at doing that all the way along. And this lock landing looks a bit soggy. So I'm coming in very slowly, very gently. Back. Right, I'm going to have to leap off. Here I go. Oopsie. Bit of wet rope. I'm going to put my hands in the wet rope. Okay, he's closing it. I want to do Here Comes Bod. As he comes down the towpath. Bod was a children's programme back in the late 70s, probably mid to late 70s. It was a cartoon thing and it had different characters in it. Bod was the main character, but it had Aunt Flo, Farmer Barleymow, PC Plod and a few others. I don't know how famous Bod is worldwide, but alright.
Just got chatting to the lady up there. So paid more actually on the engineer and they pay about £800 to the farmer for a year. There's a campsite up there, which means they've got Elsand Point and also toilets and stuff.
Yeah,
so it's not a bad deal, is it?
No.
But they've only got a 33-foot boat, don't forget. As well,
yeah. Everything's cheaper with a smaller boat.
Somebody coming up?
No, they've closed the gate. That gate keeps drifting open. There's the two lower lock gates, the one on my right, your left, keeps swinging open on this one. We had that problem when we were moored up here, actually below the next bridge that we're going under. As we exit the lock, we were moored up between the two locks, so lock 12 and lock 11. It's quite a nice place to moor. It's close to a road bridge, which there's a little bit of off-road parking just by this next bridge, which is 115, but the lock gate on the far side keeps opening. It's a helicopter flying across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Belfrosters should be alive. There's a little control unit on the side of the panel here. You have to press 2 buttons in at the same time to turn it on, and I think you just press it once to one of them to turn them off. They stay on or they stay active for so many minutes and then automatically turn off so the battery doesn't drain. I think I've talked about the bow thrusters before. It's quite easy to get far too used to using them, especially if it's a windy day and you just want to not smack into things. But I'm doing this one all wrong. No, I told you I was doing it all wrong. That was a bump. I'm going to blame the wind. That's a really odd angle lock coming off the lock landing. I'll hold on to your ankles while you're leaning over to put the bitumen back on the hole on that bit, yeah? Sorry? I need to learn to prepare it or repair it. Napton lock number 12. The winding mechanism on these is a bit, it hasn't the ground paddles have got the clicker plates on them, so it goes click, 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 click as you're doing it for safety. On the actual lock gates on these, on the Napton Flight, there's a shaped bit of metal that you move over, or you hook it over, and it's shaped to hold the bit of metal that goes through. So the bar that you're turning, you kind of grip it in between the plate that goes over the top of it. Look at, oh, it's got grease in the fingers. He is looking to see, and I bet 5 pence that he says there's more up in this pound. Don't bet more than you can afford. Sorry?
Is that something for home mooring?
Home mooring. It's where we moored before. No, it was this one. Yeah. What do you want to do? Do you want to?
I'm wondering if it's quiet and we can go further on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The lady at the Marston Dole's top lock said it was very quiet down by the folly. Not the holly, by the folly. Folly. But you never know, do you? Because it's still early in the afternoon. Could have got busy down there. But then people have put off from coming because of the timings on the locks. And everyone's saying, oh, there's low water. It's a cunning ploy to ensure people don't come this way. Oh, let's plough on. Sorry?
Why are you racing?
I'm racing you. Because I did that a minute ago. No, you'll have to watch the video. It's 2:15. This was actually nice mooring here. It was roughly here that we were moored. And that was when we came and saw the is it the Micron Theatre Company down at the Folly pub. They did the what show was it? Raising Agents, which was all about the Women's Institute. Whether it was completely factual, I'm not sure. I think there was some artistic license used, but no, it was a very, very good theatre show. Very amusing. A member of the crew of the hire boat that has just passed us was shouted at by another boater for dropping the paddle on the lock gate rather than winding it down. Yeah, you've got to be careful with the lock mechanisms these days. I don't think it's not necessarily the design, it's the material that's used. They're not capable of being dropped multiple times like they used to be. Probably a difference in the thickness of the material or the quality of the material used to actually make them these days. It's one of those nothing's built to last moments, isn't it? Whereas in the old days it was built to withstand all sorts of mistreatment. So how many had he done like that then?
That's their first trip out. That's their first day out in their harbour.
Oh.
And he said, yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
I said, well, we've got to learn something. And he said, yeah, I know. I said, because it's a linkage underneath. And he said, yeah, it's made of cast, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
But I think he just, I mean, he did that one, didn't he, for us? He did that properly.
Yeah.
So.
I think on some of them, the spindle bit's so worn, if you put the bigger square on it, it slips in it.
It wasn't that, he used it to knock off the caps.
Oh.
These were
Right.
catch,
you know what? In the olden days,
yeah, they would have done that.
That's exactly what they would have done.
Yeah, I know.
It's a different material now. It's slightly different.
I think, to be honest,
I was saying that nothing's built to last these days. All these days. When I was younger.
It would have been newer and not so fragile, I think.
Yeah.
Like the bolts and everything.
Yeah, do you want me to put that somewhere safe?
Yeah, and then they would have had somebody quite locally
to come and fix it, yeah. In the shed at the bottom of the at the bottom of the lock flight. Oh, okay.
However, they did say there wasn't much more down at the folly.
Ah.
That's what they said.
It's like the towpath grapevine, isn't it? Little messages being passed on as you go up and down the canal. Rumours. Useful information. I suppose in its day it was pretty much like a telegraph, sending a message on with the boaters and their crews. Doesn't look like anyone's coming into the next lock from below. This is the pill one that's got the pillbox on. Pillbox, explain pillbox. Concrete structures left over from World War II. They designed to provide shelter for the watchmen, I suppose, really. Not necessarily the armed forces, but the Home Guard, to protect a strategically important piece of infrastructure, or to hold a line across the country. A lot of the canals were used as, I suppose, defensive, I'm going to call it a moat, a defensive moat. It's about 14 foot of water, which would slow anyone down. Yeah.
Do we put our rope fenders back on while we're stopped waiting for water?
We can do.
Do we go on ahead
and see if there's somewhere that isn't opposite? Yeah. If there's room for us to do that at the water point.
There's two water points down there, isn't there?
Yeah. Or two taps.
We'll let people know that we want space.
Yeah. Pillbox. The sort of holes that they would have been able to look out of have been bricked in all the way around. I suppose it stops people getting in there and playing around, using it as a den. So the little hut, Lempsman's hut. Lempsmans were given a portion of the canal to look after, to maintain, to ensure that the barges and the boaters and boats could get through and basically get the goods that were on the boats to port and to where they needed to market, really, I suppose. They were paid by the canal companies from the fees that they used to collect from the boat owners as the boats passed along the canal. So these people would have been the ones that would repair the lock gate if it got damaged, or the paddle on the lock gate if it got damaged, and ensure everything was properly maintained. So, and that would have been somebody's little hut, sheltering during the day, store tools, equipment. Had a little fireplace in it so that they could keep the fire going, keep themselves warm during the winter months. This is Bridge 114 coming up, and it looks into being a little bit of a sorry state on that side. Oh, you can hear the church bells in the distance. That could be the church of, I think it was, I said it was St Leonard's, but it's St Lawrence's up on the hill. We walked up the hill when we went to get the car from Braunston that time. If I haven't already played you the footage of that, I'll do it this time. Oh, here we are at the top of Napton on the hill, right by the church of St Lawrence. I was worried that this was going to sound like a dirty phone call with all the heavy breathing after coming up the hill, but yeah, thankfully there's a couple of seats outside, so we've sat here looking at the view. So I've recorded a bit of view. Here it comes. Right, lock number 9. Napton. Looks like the lock wall on my left, your right, has been rebuilt recently. Did you hear the church bells ringing? Do you want me to stand there and hold it closed for a second? Sorry?
I was hoping that was going to leak, you know. But you swished back a whole load of water, which then dragged the gate as well.
Right, bye boat. Oh, I can see the smudge where the other boat rammed us the other week. Right. Let's try not to hit the gates. I'd hate for us to be the reason why the lock flight had to be closed. Be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Now, on this lock gate, the winding gear's got the normal clicky safety latch on it. It's not the standard, or it's not the same as the other enclosed winding gears on the other gates. I don't know if we've got any clear pictures of what the other winding gear are like. I think I'll try and grab one from down on the next lock, if I can. It's not like the pneumatic ones with the tool, but they're little barrels. Yeah, this definitely rebuilt. They're modern. They're modern blue bricks. It's got a layer of engineering bricks underneath. They're not as tall as that side. Probably why they've got a line of the engineering bricks under them. Right, here we go. There are a load of swifts darting backwards and forwards across the canal down here. If they don't do it behind us when we get there, I don't capture them on camera, I'm going to be very disappointed, because there are loads of them. And they're all around us. Wasp. Lots of birds flying around. And of course attempting to get into this lock without smacking the sides. Not too much, especially with an audience. There we go. Aeroplane. I'm going to say it's a 767 or a 777. Could be a 777. 777. I'm going with a 777. photo of the lock gear. It allows me to take one. Here we go. Whoop. Right, got one. Should, oh, what? No. I think Bixby was trying to launch itself. Right, I've got a hire boater aiming straight for us. So I've got nowhere to go. So I'm sitting here. Trying to work out where they were going. Yeah, okay, I will. Yeah, I'll go through. Alright, thank you. That's me not looking where I'm going. Right, there's a hire boat that's pulled over, it's not weed, and they're coming out at the front. Give them a bit of room. Paul's waiting for me. So funny. This is what you find. Yeah. This is where we're going to stop for a little while as we need to fill up the freshwater tank on the boat. So, for now, we're going to say goodbye and we hope to see you next time. Bye.